thick with dark roast steam, a quiet hum, a waking dream. Dust motes danced in the slanted light, chasing shadows back into the night. Old leather chairs and polished wood, doing the slow, quiet things they should. This corner booth, my morning dock, where time forgets to check the clock. The window glass is streaked with dew, a world outside that rushes through. But here the sound is just the drip of coffee poured, a careful sip, the gentle clink of porcelain, a soft, sustained refrain. I watch the baker setting bread, a practiced grace, a lowered head. He dusted flour across the pane, wiping away the residue of rain, and worries carried through the street. His hands, they knew the taste of sweet, a heritage of grain and heat, a small, deliberate, measured pace, finding solace in this simple space. He didn't rush the folding cloth, ignoring the impatient moth of modern life that flutters near. He just ensured the lines were clear, and every loaf was laid just so, a silent, focused morning glow. I envied that devotion deep to promises that he would keep, with yeast and water, fire and time, a rhythm that felt truly prime. Then came the woman with the braid, who always ordered lemonade, even when the frost was deep and white. She sat beneath the western light. She never brought a book to keep her company while others sleep, just watched the door with steady grace, a silent fixture in this place. I wondered what she waited for, or if she simply loved the floor of patterned tile and scattered crumbs, where every morning softly comes. She took a notebook from her bag, not to write but just to tag, a memory, perhaps a thought, a tiny lesson life had taught. She didn't scroll, she didn't phone, she simply sat there quite alone, but perfectly connected to the quiet ritual she knew. Oh, the quiet hum of the cafe floor shows you secrets you forgot were there before. It's not the grand adventure or the distant shore, but the chipped blue mug and the closing door, where the rush hour fades to a steady beat, and the ordinary feels complete. This is where the living starts, in the pause between the hurried parts, in the steam rising from the cup, where weary souls can finally sup on moments pure and finely spun before the busy day is done. We build our lives on schedules tight, chasing futures bathed in neon light, but the truth is poured in this porcelain shell, a simple story that the senses tell, that the depth of life is not in the size, but the stillness reflected in tired eyes. If you stop your heart from beating fast, you realize that the present lasts. It stretches out like honey slow, given permission just to know that every breath is sacred ground, in every small forgotten sound, a gentle scraping of a chair, a shared glance, a silent prayer, that all this beauty might remain against the pressure and the strain. It's the recognition of the need to plant a simple, quiet seed. The sun climbed higher, gold and deep, while hurried commuters were still asleep. The coffee cooled, the shadows grew. I nothing new needs writing down. The stories told in silver steam and fading gold. The baker nods, the woman smiles, and for a moment miles and miles of hurried noise just disappear. Only the soft acoustic guitar is left here. The cafe breathes a sigh of peace, a gentle, slow, profound release. Just peace beneath the morning sky. The quiet hum, and so do I. The window pane was frosted gold. The hour just passed the chime. A velvet hush within the fold of this small space in time. The grinder sighed a gentle sound. The steam kissed porcelain white, and all the world outside was drowned in morning's hazy light. I sat tucked deep in booth number 3, where shadows softly lay, nursing the remnants of my tea, watching the start of day. The air smelled sharp of roasted bean and old, well-loved leather bound. A quiet, almost holy scene without a hurried sound. Then he arrived, the constant guest, the man they called a watchmaker, wearing a coat of faded tweed, a silent, steady undertaker of passing minutes, it would seem, though he sold no caskets here. He ordered black, a single cream, banishing all fear of change or chaos. Every day the same small ritual kept. He spread his napkin, cleared the way before the town awoke or slept. He didn't read the news or stare into the blinding phone screen light. He simply breathed the morning air and took in the soft sight. Today he pulled a leather case, worn smooth by time and touch, and from its depth with measured grace he drew a pocket watch. Not checking time, but checking gear, the movement of the spring. A tiny universe held dear, the only truth he'd bring. He held it angled to the light, the mechanism silver fine, a secret hidden in plain sight, a perfect fragile design. I watched the way his fingers moved, precise and slow and wise, a life of careful rhythm proof reflected in his eyes. He didn't need the bustling crowd or the applause of men. His truth was whispered, never loud, then polished once again. Oh, the small anchors, the quiet truth found not in thunder nor hurried youths, but in the steady hand that turns the page, the careful sip that marks life's stage. We seek the mountain, the lightning strike when meaning hides in the morning bike, the 7-minute pause before the sun, the quiet comfort when the day is done. The small anchors, they hold us true in the simple things we always do. And I, the restless wandering soul who chases distant shore, felt envy for his self-control and what he settled for. My life is built of sudden starts and endings, sharp and quick, 1,000 1,000 broken, scattered parts held by a brittle stick. But here, in his deliberate pace, I saw the strength of rest, the beauty of a chosen space, the feeling truly blessed, that certainty, that daily grace, to know exactly where you fit, to find the steady, perfect base and never stray from it. I realize the great adventure lies not in where the compass spins, but in the quiet, humble ties where true consistency begins. He closed the case, he drained the cup, he nodded to the door. The sunlight started creeping up and washed the marble floor. The watchmaker vanished into fog, leaving his quiet peace behind. But the ticking of that tiny car remained within my mind. I finished my cold dark brew, the steam had long since died. The lesson simple, clear and true, in smallness we abide. And I knew tomorrow I'd be here, waiting for the gold to shine, hoping to catch that steady gear and make his quiet rhythm mine. I rose and left the booth number 3, carrying the soft belief that the finest things are always free, rooted in quiet relief. The clock on the wall reads 7:30. A sliver of gold through the window pane. The air is thick with roasted heaven, washing away the midnight rain. The old espresso machine sighs low, a rim gentle hiss, like secrets shared beneath the breath of morning's kiss. I choose the corner booth, worn leather, slightly cracked and deep, where the ghosts of countless quiet mornings sleep. The light spills onto the marble counter, cool and clean, a silent, hopeful, everyday machine. The piano player starts a melody, slow and barely heard, a simple chord progression, soft as a whispered word. The barista Sarah knows my order, just a black Americano, no cream. She moves with practiced grace, living out a simple measured dream. Her hands are steady, pouring steam into the milk's white lace, a quiet art performed in this forgotten, gentle space. Across the room, old Mr. Peterson by the window seat unfurls his paper, daily ritual, bittersweet. He folds the edges sharp, a military precision in his gaze, lost in headlines of the world's bewildering maze. I watch the dust dance slowly in the sunbeams, thin and frail, and feel the rushing world outside grow dim and pale. This routine is the scaffolding that holds my spirit true, a simple, steadfast promise, always fresh and new. My phone sits face down, a dark rectangle of demands and noise, a portal to the clamor that destroys the simple joys. Yesterday was a whirlwind of deadlines, sirens and hurried words, a cacophony drowning out the song places I have fled from, places I have come. And I realize that stillness is a muscle you must learn to flex, to find the anchor when the ocean wrecks. The scent of cinnamon and brewing tea, a comforting embrace, restoring dignity to time and place. I notice the chipped paint on the window frame, a small imperfect sign that even broken things can hold a shape divine. Oh, the quiet architecture of a small cafe, where the future softens and the past just fades away. It's in the clink of porcelain, the whisper of the steam, the silent harbor where I anchor every hopeful dream. It's not the grand adventure or the road that stretches long, but the steady rhythm of this simple morning song. We are all just strangers bound by the hour and the light, finding sanctuary in the slow passage of the night. I recall a time when I chased lightning, searched for fire and flood, believing greatness only dwelled where chaos stood. But Mr. Peterson nods a slight acknowledgement of the day, and Sarah smiles a warmth that chases shadows far away. And suddenly I see the thread woven through all these years, the tapestry of comfort woven out of quiet tears. True peace is found not in the seeking, but the settling down, in the reliable heart of this small sleepy town. The grandeur lies in repetition, the beauty in the known, a seed of solace quietly sown. This corner table holds more history than any monument of stone, the quiet triumph of being truly alone, yet never lonely. The last sip cools, the paper rustles, turning to the financial page. The sun climbs higher, stepping on to a new stage. I gather my coat, leaving the warmth and the gentle humming sound, carrying the quiet safety I have found. The door chime rings, a delicate silver farewell chime. Until tomorrow, same place, same time. The city waits outside, but I am armored by the light that filtered through the dust motes, making everything feel right. Just the echo of the piano keys on the morning breeze, a moment held in perfect ease. The soft piano melody trails off, leaving the sound of the distant city traffic. The clock hand dragged itself past 7, slow and grey. A fine mist swept against the window pane, washing the world away. This cafe, the hearth held fast against the bitter morning chill. A scent of bitter dark rose toast and cinnamon still. The brass bell chimed for no one yet, just settling dust and light. And I found my corner table tucked away from the day's first blight. The leather seat was cracked just so, the wood polished by time. This silent sanctuary felt like a deliberate, gentle crime against the hurried noise that waited just beyond the door, a place where simple stillness was the thing worth fighting for. Old Mr. Silas behind the counter wiped the same spot clean, a ritual older than the years that stood between my younger self and this quiet, solitary peace. I order my usual double shot, hoping for release from the chatter of the city and the deadlines I must meet, finding solace in the rhythm of tapping rain on the street. The floorboards sighed beneath his step, a familiar wooden groan, a soundtrack to the feeling of being utterly alone yet known. He never asked for details, never pries into the why, just slides the heavy mug across beneath his watchful eye. He knows the weight of waiting, the burden of the start, and offers silent comfort to the weary waiting heart. I pulled the worn journal closer, tracing lines I'd scribbled years ago, when the future was a promise and the direction wasn't slow. There was a coffee stain right here, left by your hurried hand, the day we planned to conquer Europe or just cross the sand. It's funny how the grandest plans dissolve into the steam, leaving behind the small, persistent, necessary dream. I read the frantic poetry, the declarations sharp and vast, comparing them to the quiet life I've built that's meant to last. The way the sugar bowl catches the pale, refracted sun, 1,000 little moments felt before the day is done. And I realized the searching wasn't for the storm or flood, but for the simple, constant, comforting good. This is the harbor of the quiet truth, the simple, steady beat, where the world outside is noisy and the silence here is sweet. Oh, the alchemy of morning, grounded in the scent of brew, finding all the meaning waiting in the things we always knew. The cracked ceramic comfort, the warmth held in the clay, these small meaningful moments that redeem the coming day. Let the headlines scream their fury, let the travelers hurry past. I'll find my resolution in the peace that's built to last. I used to chase the thunder, the dramatic striking scene, believing that the great love was something sharp and keen. But watching Solace turn the sign to open with a gentle sigh, I saw the grace and constancy reflected in his eye. The magic isn't in the leaving or the sudden sharp return, it's in the quiet daily promise, the lessons we must learn, that patience is a landscape and faithfulness a deep well, not a story for the headlines, but a ballad we must tell. The drip, drip, drip of the filter, a metronome for the soul, making broken pieces quietly, beautifully whole. I understand now that the waiting is the richest part of all, listening for the whisper instead of the sudden crashing fall. The mist has lifted slightly now, the street is starting to shine. I close the journal softly, leaving that old memory of mine. The chair scrapes back a gentle noise, disturbing no one near. I carry the warmth of this small haven, holding it close and dear. I leave a crisp $5 bill beneath the empty cup I drained, a small thank you for the clarity that I have quietly gained. The bell chimes softly on the way out, a final hopeful note, and I step back into the morning with the silence in my throat. Quiet truth delivered, bitter, strong, and freshly made. A simple, beautiful moment, perfectly played. First light cuts the corner dust, a sliver through the window glass. The hiss of steam, a gentle trust in how the morning hours pass. Just 3 tables occupy, the air is thick with roasted bean and quiet thought. A worn wooden chair, a gentle click, the piece the money hasn't bought. The old floorboards beneath my boots remember footsteps years ago. A history built on quiet pursuits, watching the heavy traffic slow. The cafe feels like sacred ground, a refuge from the frantic pace, where genuine silence can be found, etched upon every smiling face. The scent of lemon polish, faint and clean, mixes with the dark Colombian blend. A perfect, unassuming scene, a fractured soul begins to mend. I trace the rim of porcelain white, my future folded in my hand. A ticket stub from yesterday's flight, leaving the life I thought I'd planned. I gave notice to the corporation tower, traded concrete views for this soft glow. And I have felt for every waking hour the terrifying freedom just to grow. The city rushes just outside the pain, horns blowing sharp, a frantic hurried plea. But here the tempo holds its breath against the morning's soft decree. A young woman at the counter laughs, a sudden clear melodic sound. She stacks the sugar cubes in careful halves upon a silver tray, safe and sound. I watch the rhythmic pouring of the cream, a milky swirl into the dark black sea. It feels like watching a forgotten dream finding its way back home to me. The barista knows my standard order now, a small vanilla latte served lukewarm. She nods and smiles, I don't know how she keeps that steady, quiet calm. Across the room an old man reads a book, leather bound and worn by time, his finger tracing every nervous look, escaping this world's anxious climb. He doesn't need to steal a nervous glance, he just accepts the slow design. Caught in a quiet literary trance, letting the soft morning sun define the line. I envy that unhurried grace, the way he sits, content inside this sheltered fleeting space. I'm wrestling with the ghosts of expectation, the pressure built from years of being told that worth is measured only by creation, or the amount of silver that we hold. But looking at the rain-streaked window pane where the drops gather and then slowly slide, I realize such striving is in vain if peace is constantly denied. Oh, the quiet hum of the cafe floor where the world outside can't break the seal. It's not the grand thing I was waiting for, but the smallest grace that makes things real. The moment held between the breath and sigh, a simple truth in the coffee steam. This gentle pause beneath the morning sky is better than the wildest dream. The warmth of the mug against my chilled palm, a perfect, unassuming, gentle stay. The unexpected, deep and settling balm that washes all the worry far away. It's here, in the shadow of the window frame, I finally stop and learn to hear my name. I thought the journey needed thunder, a sudden seismic tearing sound, a cataclysm to pull me from under the heavy weight of solid ground. But maybe strength is found down under where the roots of quiet patience are bound. The teaspoon clinks, a tiny chime of brass, a promise whispered in the early light. I watch the shadows slowly pass and let go of the desperate need to fight. I see the chip paint on the windowsill, a tiny imperfection left to be, and understand that standing perfectly still is sometimes the bravest liberty. The path ahead is still unseen, a hazy view shrouded in mist and unknown seas. But I can start right here with something true, carried forward on the morning breeze. The last sip cools, the cup is near the end, the morning chill begins to fade. I fold the map of how I should pretend and thank the silent choice I made. The chime above the door rings soft and low, a ukulele memory starts to play. I step outside and softly watch the city grow, carrying the comfort of this brand new day. Just the memory of the light and the slow drip, drip of the filter. A quiet morning on my lips, turning the world slightly milder. The rhythm of the heart beats steady and slow, like the gentle rising doe. The street outside was still washed gray, the city holding its breath. But here inside the morning glory, life was soft as a sigh. The bell above the door gave its familiar gentle chime. In the air thick with cinnamon dust and dark roast steam settled time. I chose a corner booth, worn leather crack like an old map, where the rising sun caught the motes dancing in the silent trap of the window glass. The barista Leo knew my order by heart now. A simple black drip, bitter comfort, a promise to somehow begin the long day. The only sound was the hiss of the espresso machine, a quiet mechanical heartbeat in this peaceful liminal scene. I watched a woman across the room, meticulously turning a page. Her spectacles perched low, marking a quiet, scholarly stage. She drank her latte slow, spooning foam like measuring gold. It made me say this place had the best light for sketching. How the shadows stretched and folded, endlessly stretching, fetching memories that were too fragile to hold in the harsh light outside. We spent 100 Saturdays here, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from the quiet truth of our fragile, hopeful arrangement. We were two ships passing, often anchored, but always in estrangement. I still see the ghost of your head resting beside the sugar bowl, a momentary warmth that settled deep within my searching soul. The paper I brought is still folded, the headlines meaningless noise. I'm listening instead to the cafe's repertoire of small human joys, the soft scrape of a chair, the murmured thanks for a refill, the steady, moderate rhythm that this early hour instills. It wasn't the big fights that broke us, or the dramatic goodbyes. It was the accumulation of whispers, the unspoken lies, the fear of defining what we had, holding it too tightly to the light. We kept it here, contained, safe from the brutal, demanding night. And now every morning I seek this same familiar, safe harbor, hoping the echoes of your presence might somehow still harbor the feeling of possibility, the gentle curve of potential, before the world outside became so fiercely sequential. Oh, the language of the quiet cafe, where the coffee is strong and true. It speaks of the things we almost built, the things we almost knew. It's the ballad of the morning fresh, the gentle clink and steam, 1,000 small meaningful moments woven into a half-forgotten dream. And I sit here waiting for the day to break, watching the light expand, holding on to the quiet anchor of a life I didn't fully understand. I realize now that the comfort wasn't just in your company, but in the permission we gave ourselves simply to be, to watch the world rush past the window pane, untouched by its need, to plant a small, temporary, beautiful, unnoticed seed. The ache isn't for the future we lost, but for the present we failed to grasp, the fleeting perfection held within a single shared, quiet gasp. The memory doesn't haunt me, it sustains me like this steady warmth, the testament that even the briefest connection can weather the storm's wrath. I fold the newspaper, finally the decision made clear and bright. The past is a warm sip, but the future demands the morning light. Oh, the language of the quiet cafe, where the coffee is strong and true. It speaks of the things we almost built, the things we almost knew. It's the ballad of the morning fresh, the gentle clink and steam, 1,000 small meaningful moments woven into a half-forgotten dream. And I sit here waiting for the day to break, watching the light expand, holding on to the quiet anchor of a life I didn't fully understand. The cafe fills slowly now, the chatter rising like the sun. Leo wipes the counter clean, knowing my morning ritual is done. I leave a generous tip, a silent thank you for the hallowed space, where quiet sorrow and gentle hope found their temporary place. Stepping out, the street is vibrant, the grayness entirely gone. The melody of the morning cafe lingers, carrying me on. The gentle chime of the closing door, a final soft refrain. The story ends not in regret, but in the promise of today's rain, washing the pavement clean for the steps that I must take alone. The small meaningful moment, perfectly known, perfectly grown. Steam kissed the glass pane where the morning mist still clung. The air was thick with dark roast and the faint, sweet scent of cinnamon.
The grinding machine hummed low, a steady mechanical sigh, as the first rays of city sun began to climb the sky.
I settled into the warm leather booth, the one by the chipped ceramic tile, watching the world wake up outside just for a little while.
The barista called a name I didn't recognize, with a voice both soft and slow, and the gentle rhythm of the cafe was the only place I knew to go.
The noise was a comforting blanket, not loud but deeply resonant, a perfect space for quiet thought, profoundly present.
I traced the rim of my empty cup, the familiar cooling shade. Another Tuesday morning starts, another calculated escape.
I've been chasing grand horizons, looking for the epic sign,
forgetting that the grace we seek is often woven into the mundane design. The newspaper lay unfolded, headlines blurred in gray, reflecting the anxiety I carry through the day. I watch the staff weigh down a counter, a meticulous slow hand, trying to understand a simple beauty that I can't quite command. I check my phone for messages that I know will never come, living life in fast forward motion, feeling hollow and numb. This routine is self-imposed exile where the light is always dim, waiting for the world to change, waiting for the tide to swim. I was searching for a mountain peak, a monumental sweeping view, and all I really needed was a moment, honest, quiet, and true. Then an old man shuffled in, wearing a coat of threadbare tweed. You didn't order anything, didn't seem to be in need. He carried a small, tarnished watering can tucked beneath his arm, and walked straight past the basic counter, safe from any harm. He went to the far corner where the fern had turned to brown, forgotten in a rushing noise of this busy little town. That was a sad, neglected creature, brittle leaves and gusty stem, a quiet casualty of the cafe's daily hurried phlegm. He knelt down slowly with care, like performing a sacred rite. His movements heavy yet graceful in the soft, forgiving light. He tipped the tarnished can, and the water flowed in a clear, slow stream, but fighting the thirsty roots, fulfilling a silent, necessary dream. He didn't look for things to notice, no gesture grand or bold, just tending to a small life, a story quietly told. This is the quiet alchemy, the turning of the tide. The grandest stories often found where the smallest truths reside. A splash of water, a moment held beneath the coffee steam. We build our temples out of dust, chasing an impossible dream. But here in this slow, gentle hour, where everything is one and true, I see the light break through the cracks in the small things we forget to do. The quiet alchemy, the grace we overlook, written in the margins of the well-loved aging book. I realize I've been waiting for the thunder, the dramatic crashing sound. Well, the miracle was happening silently right here on the ground. It wasn't about the destinations or the names we try to make. It was the patient, quiet commitment, a small risks we choose to take. The patient tending of the things we thought had long since died, the kind just offered without fanfare, nowhere left to run and hide. That tire firm, now standing taller, seemed to nod its weary head, reminding me the seeds of hope are best when softly fed. We rush past. The fog still clung to the cobblestone street outside, dampening the sounds of the early city tide. But inside the air was steeped in warmth and sweet, the steady rhythm of the espresso machine a beat. The scent of dark roast, a gentle cinnamon haze, chasing away the gray of these slow waking days. The bell above the door gave a gentle familiar chime, marking
the passage of unhurried measured time. Just 3 tables filled, the murmur low and deep, watching the hurried world outside begin to creep. He sits by the window, always the same chair, a quiet shadow of meticulous, patient care. He orders black coffee, no sugar, the cup filled to the brim, lost in the pages of some old recurring whim. A tweed coat draped upon the chair back, neatly folded, tracing the spine where the paper is frayed and molded. It's Moby Dick, or perhaps The Old Man and the Sea, a story of long journeys and lonely tenacity. He never turns pages, not really, not fast, just holding the moment, letting the soft silence last. He scans the same paragraphs, year after steady year, finding comfort in words that he holds so dear. I've worked this counter for almost 7 years now, seen futures arrive and seen futures somehow just slip away, like sugar dissolved in the cup. But he stays rooted, he never gives up. I started to wonder, then started to know, this isn't just reading, this is a slow, steadfast vigil, a promise long kept, a memory he holds while the whole frantic world has slept. The chair across from him, perpetually bare, reserved for a ghost floating in the morning air. His eyes lift sometimes toward the swinging door, expecting a face that won't appear anymore. But there is no pain in the waiting, only grace, the acceptance of loss reflected in this place. Oh, the quiet choreography of morning light, where sorrow wears routine and keeps the edges tight. It's not about the ending or the final story told, it's the comfort in the ritual, growing gracefully old. He pours the same measure, stirs once then twice, finding meaning in the delicate bitter sacrifice, waiting for the footnote, the last forgotten line in the corner nook where the past and present gently twine. This small moment held a perfect fragile scene, the most honest truth that I have ever seen. We all have that table set for 2, a conversation unfinished, a silent I miss you. We come to these quiet places, not just for the caffeine dose, but for the faint echo of what we held the most close. He taught me the patience of the tide coming slowly in, that sometimes the waiting is where the quiet healing can truly begin. The book is just a vessel, the coffee just a prop, the hope is the engine that simply won't ever stop. He's not trapped by the past, he's simply honoring the space, finding deep resilience in this familiar holy place. He's not waiting for her to walk through the door, he's waiting for the morning routine to restore. The clock on the wall ticks past 9:30. He gently closes the worn book, aligning the spine in a perfect geometric line. He doesn't look up, doesn't offer a goodbye, just leaves the exact change beneath the empty cup, dry. The chair remains empty, ready for the next day, and I wipe down the table where the shadows play. The morning routine, a perfect gentle art, keeping the quiet hope alive within the bell chimes out and the city begins to roar, but the silence he left lingers by the door. The sun cut the dust motes above the espresso machine, painting stripes on the worn mahogany counter. The air was thick with roasted hazelnut and the promise of a quiet Tuesday. I found my usual corner booth, the one where the velvet was thin but the view of the street was wide. The only sound louder than the gentle hiss of the steamer was the turning of brittle newspaper pages. This wasn't a place for noise, it was a sanctuary built on low-key anticipation. The clock had just struck 8 and the city outside hadn't quite woken to its usual thunder. The window panes were cool to the touch, still holding the chill of the retreating night. But inside, the warmth was starting to settle deep into the bones. I watched the barista, a young woman named Alara, wipe down the silver drip tray with the practiced, meditated movements of someone who finds peace in repetition. She hummed a tune too low to recognize, a melody that seemed to be woven into the fabric of the morning itself. Across the room, near the window pane etched with the names of forgotten lovers, sat a man with silver hair and hands that looked like they'd seen hard labor or ancient maps he wasn't reading, nor was he scrolling on a screen. He held a small leather-bound notebook, its pages yellowed by time. Not coffee, he didn't order much, just hot water and a slice of lemon, a simple ritual observed daily. His focus was absolute, his brow furrowed not in stress but in the deep concentration of someone trying to capture a fleeting thought before it dissolved into the morning light. He chewed the end of a pencil worn smooth by countless revisions and years of contemplation. He leaned close to the page, shielding his work from the casual glance of the world, making the act of writing feel almost conspiratorial. A secret being entrusted to the fragile paper. I watched the slow, deliberate movement of his pen, a fountain pen, the kind that leaves heavy, permanent ink, a commitment etched onto the cellulose fibers. Was it a poem of regret, a letter to a child he hadn't seen in decades, or perhaps the final entry in a journal documenting a life lived fully, now distilled to its essence? Every pause felt weighted, every line drawn was a commitment. He looked up once just for a second, catching the reflection of the streetcar gliding past, and in that flicker I saw a history flicker too, a sudden sharp memory of a young woman's face, quickly suppressed, quickly buried back into the parchment. It was a secret moment, shared only by the steam and the silence, a silent acknowledgement of the burdens and beauty's memory carries. He smoothed the page with the back of his hand, a gesture of tenderness like comforting an old friend. And oh, the quiet hour of the small cafe where the ghosts of yesterday sit down to stay. We measure life in the grand crashing waves, but the meaning is found in the sediment that saves. It's the gentle clink of the porcelain cup, the ink bleeding softly as the story fills up. We are all just waiting for the next bright sun, but the real living happens when the waiting is done. In the silence between the breath and the start, that's where you find the true beat of the human heart. These small rooms hold the truth we overlook, hidden between the pages of a forgotten book. He finished his writing, closed the book with a soft final sigh, and slipped it into an inner coat pocket, securing it like a treasure map to some forgotten coast. He didn't look triumphant or sad, just deeply relieved, as if a great weight had been lifted from his shoulders and transferred onto the page. He took a slow, deliberate sip of the cooling lemon water, his eyes finally meeting mine, not in recognition, but in a shared understanding of the morning's sanctity. I realized then that my own hurried life, filled with digital noise and immediate demands, lacked this sacred space, the time to truly commit a feeling to something permanent. I pulled out my own napkin, not for notes, but just to feel the rough texture, and decided to wait for the next thought that truly deserved to be written down, not just typed and deleted, but etched in ink that would last past the morning steam. It was an invitation to slow down, offered by a stranger's focused contemplation. He stood up slowly, retrieved his worn scarf, nodded faintly to the barista who knew his routine, and walked toward the door. The bell above the lintel gave a single crystal chime as he stepped back into the roar of the city, carrying his secret history wrapped up tight in that leather book. The sunlight shifted, the dust motes danced faster, and the waitress poured me another cup, steam rising like a question mark. The chair he left behind was still warm, a ghost imprint of a man who understood the value of the pause. And I sat there, nursing the quiet truth, knowing that some stories aren't meant to be read, just read. The clock hand drags across the night, a gentle chime. The espresso machine hisses low, a riving sigh. Sunlight pools on the parquet floor, dust motes dance and gleam. The first cup poured, a quiet start to a waking dream.
The air is thick with cardamom and yesterday's rain, just the hum of the fridge and the turning of pages again.
I've claimed my corner booth, worn leather smooth and deep, watching the hurried city wake while the morning tries to creep.
The commuter train shrieks past, a blur of gray and haste.
But here the seconds stretch like honey, nothing goes to waste. The barista wipes the counter clean, a practice silent grace, and I find salvation in the stillness of this specific place.
It's not the grand adventure sought or the high dramatic call. It's the simple weight of being here, observing one and all. A woman across the room unfolds a map, lines worn and frail, planning a journey or remembering one. A blissful fading trail.
An older gentleman in tweed, he only orders tea.
He reads the same old novel every day, a ritual for me. We are vessels of quiet routine, strangers bound by steam, each nursing a private hope, caught in the morning's soft gleam.
No need for conversation, no heavy words to share, just the shared assurance that somebody else is there.
Oh, these small, meaningful moments painted in pale gold light, where the world outside can fade away, hidden from the fight.
This quiet cafe rhythm, the clink of porcelain on wood, is where the real story settles, perfectly understood. The coffee cools, the steam subsides, the morning finds its pace, and I hold on to the beauty of this utterly unhurried space.
I watch a young couple share a pastry, arguing low and sweet about the quickest way to catch the bus along the busy street.
Their hands brush lightly over sugar dust, a fleeting tender touch, a universe contained within a moment that doesn't ask for much.
We all wear masks of purpose when we rush out through the door, but here the guard comes down, we settle into something more, just breathing deep and tasting bitter, letting the feelings sink, standing steady on the fragile cotton-coated brink. Oh, these small, meaningful moments painted in pale gold light, where the world outside can fade away, hidden from the fight. This quiet cafe rhythm, the clink of porcelain on wood, is where the real story settles, perfectly understood. The coffee cools, the steam subsides, the morning finds its pace, and I hold on to the beauty of this utterly unhurried space. I came in seeking shelter from the noise and the relentless pace, but found I wasn't hiding, I was finally finding my place. We spend our lives chasing summits, searching for the loud applause, ignoring the gentle breath between the actions and the cause. It takes the quiet of the dawn, the scent of fresh ground beans, to realize that the grandeur lies in the ordinary scenes, to stop being a tourist in my own life and simply stay a while, to capture the whole universe held within a small, knowing smile. The sun climbs higher now, the shadows shrink and fade, the gentle orchestra of spoons begins to slowly wade into the louder day. I sip the last drop, dark and cold, a memory already made, a story gently told. I leave the booth, but carry the stillness deep inside, the quiet comfort where the morning truths reside.
The bell above the door gave a gentle, tired chime, just past 7:30. stealing back a little time. The Cornerstone Café smelled of dark roast and clean wood, a quiet sanctuary misunderstood. Sunlight striped and hazy cut across a polished floor. Dust motes danced like secrets I couldn't ignore. The milk steamer hissed a soft, rhythmic, sleepy tune. Underneath the pale blue morning moon,
I nursed my Earl Grey lukewarm in the ceramic cup, watching the hurried world outside speed up.
everyone glued to screens, chasing deadlines, fading fast.
Living lives too quickly, built to last.
But tucked into the corner booth, where the leather was worn thin, sat a man with gentle scars etched on his skin. He wore a tweed jacket, slightly frayed at the elbow seam, lost inside some long forgotten dream. He didn't check his watch, he didn't fret about the clock. He just turned the page, ignoring the hurried shock of the city waking up, demanding its swift price. He was writing letters delicate and precise. His notebook bound in faded crimson held 1,000 days, and his penmanship moved through complicated mazes. I wondered who received those thoughts so carefully unfurled, or if they were just whispers for the world.
He lifted his gaze once, catching mine across the room,
and offered a half smile to dispel the gloom. It wasn't pity, not advice, but quiet recognition, a shared unspoken morning benediction. Oh, the quiet architecture of a simple, perfect hour, where the coffee steam holds such potent, gentle power. These are the small collisions, the grace notes in the hum, the moments that define where we have come, the slow unfolding rhythm of a life lived by design, not racing toward the finish, but enjoying every line in the soft eclipse setting. Everything feels true, a cup of morning courage brewed just for me and you.
I thought of all the mornings I had spent just staring down,
afraid to lift my vision in the overwhelming town, missing the way the barista wiped the marble counter clean, missing the subtle poetry of the in-between. We are taught to hunt the milestones, the grand and sweeping plot, but the truest kind of wisdom is the one we often forgot. It rests in the silence of the first sip of the day, before the pressing worries steal the light away. The scent of lemon zest lingers from a pastry just arrived, and the feeling of being peacefully, simply, truly alive. Oh, the quiet architecture of a simple, perfect hour, where the coffee steam holds such potent, gentle power. These are the small collisions, the grace notes in the hum, the moments that define where we have come, the slow unfolding rhythm of a life lived by design, not racing toward the finish, but enjoying every line in the soft acoustic setting. Everything feels true, a cup of morning courage brewed just for me and you.
I came here searching solace from the noise and heavy rush,
a frantic hurried silence in the city's sudden hush. I thought I needed answers, a grand and sweeping sign, but maybe peace is simpler, more mundane and more divine.
It's found in the scraping chair, the distant streetcar bell,
the stories that the leather booth silently can tell. I close my laptop then, ignoring the urgent ping, deciding to just listen to the gentle song they sing. The wisdom of the aged writer bent above his page taught me more than any modern frantic digital sage, to truly breathe the moment, to let the hurried breath subside, and watch the golden dust motes gently ride. The man finished his letter, sealed it with a careful fold, a story written quiet, brave and bold. He tapped his pen once, slipping out into the bright day, leaving only silence where he lay. And I stay rooted here, the last sip sweet upon my tongue, the quiet architecture beautifully sung. The cafe bell rings softly, another soul steps in the light, and the morning promises that everything is right. Just a small, meaningful moment held beneath the roof, living out the simple, quiet, gentle proof. The sun cut through the haze of the morning street, painting the worn wooden floorboards in stripes of pale, shifting gold. The air hung thick and comforting, with the scent of dark roast and old paperbacks. It was the deepest, most profound quiet a city allows, a quiet punctured only by the low, steady hiss from the espresso machine and the gentle clinking of porcelain against the saucer. This was the soundtrack of solitude, the morning soft anthem. I chose the corner booth where the window pane was etched with years of condensation and forgotten names, offering a blurred impressionistic view of the world rushing past outside. Here the frantic pace of the street was muted, filtered down to a manageable hum. I held my chipped, oversized mug, the warmth radiating the steady heat into my palms, a grounding force against the chill of the early hour. Across the room, a woman with silver hair and eyes that seemed to hold volumes of untold stories read a letter. Her lips moved silently as she traced the lines of ink, a faint fleeting smile catching the light. She wasn't rushing, she wasn't checking the time, she was suspended in that perfect immediate moment, a quiet testament to the forgotten art of patience. I thought of all the moments I'd rush through to get somewhere else, chasing a future defined by deadlines and distant goals, only to find the destination empty, the achievement hollow. We spend so much energy anticipating the next chapter that we forget to inhabit the page we are currently reading. The steam curled lazily from my coffee, carrying the bitter promise of energy and the sweet relief of stillness. The barista, a young man named Leo, perhaps hummed a tune I couldn't quite place, something minor key, comforting and deeply rooted in the soil. I watched him wipe down the stainless steel counter with meticulous care, polishing the surface until it mirrored the ceiling lights above. It struck me then, every small action here was an act of faith, a quiet belief that tomorrow morning someone would still need this cup of warmth, this anchor of fleeting peace. My mind drifted back to a conversation long ago, a foolish grand promise made over lukewarm tea, about running away to the coast and starting over, leaving all complexity behind. We were so sure that happiness was a geographical location, a destination we had to drive towards at reckless speed. But watching Leo arrange the sugar packet happiness wasn't a coast, it was the ability to stop driving. Oh, the slow burn of morning light, the tapestry of shadows, deep and true. In this small pause where the world is held just right, I find the meaning I was always searching through. Not in the grand design, but in the whisper of the steam, the quiet comfort of the ordinary waking dream. It's the coffee grounds and the honest silent hum, where all my hurried seeking finally comes undone. We are all waiting, aren't we? Waiting for the signal, the signpost that says, now start living. Now the real story begins, but the signal was always right here, leaning against the sugar bowl, reflected in the smooth surface of the coffee. The life we imagine is often less tangible, less real than the gentle rhythm of the spoon, stirring the day into being. I close my eyes, letting the low thrum of the ukulele music wash over me, a simple four-string lullaby. I decided in that moment to finally let go of the ghost of the past and the demanding phantom of the future. The only moment that ever truly mattered was the one where the steam kissed my face and the light fell just so upon the page. The sun climbed higher, breaking the spell of the deepest early hour, demanding that the day fully begin. I drained the last drop cool now, leaving that familiar echo on the tongue. I gather my coat, feeling lighter than when I arrived, leaving a dollar tip for Leo, a silent thank you for the sanctuary, for the lesson in stillness. The door chimed softly behind me as I stepped back onto the pavement, a gentle melodic punctuation mark on the morning's quiet chapter. The world outside was loud again, busy and demanding, but I carried the cafe stillness tucked securely inside my coat pocket. A fresh start brewing slowly, patiently, like the next perfect pot of coffee. The clock hand crawls toward 8, sunlight dusts the wooden floor. A single bell chime waited as the latch gives on the door. The air is steeped in roasted bean and polished brass, a gentle hum. I take my usual corner seat before the frantic day becomes. The waitress knows my order now, a silent ritual understood. And the only sound is soft jazz strings doing exactly what they should. He sits across the room from me, a silhouette against the eastern paint. Same tweed jacket, faded blue, shielding him from any rain. He orders black, no sugar stirred, and never looks up from the page. A silent actor in this play, set upon this morning stage. He peels the corner of his cup, just enough to let the heat escape. He seems to measure every breath contained within his quiet shape. I watch the way his finger traces the curve of every line, a solemn ritual unhurried, marking the passage of time. It took me 30 mornings straight to notice something strange and slight. The leather binding cracked and worn, catching the pale indifferent light. It wasn't a new novel's thrill or newsprint quickly written, tossed. It was the same worn copy, frayed, a memory never truly lost. Perhaps a poem or a letter bound in prose he knew by heart, a compass pointing to a time when he played a different vanished part. It wasn't the content that mattered or the story that the author spun. It was the comfort of the knowing, the faithful task that must be done. And in that repetition I saw a mirror to my own deep need to anchor down the rushing world and plant a small and quiet seed. Oh, the quiet hour, the steady hand, the peace we find in what we know, in the steam rising from the cup, the gentle unhurried flow. We are all searching for a lighthouse, a familiar harbor sound, and sometimes the deepest comfort is the silence we have found. In the rhythm of the wooden chair, the turning of the page, a small perfect moment locked within this morning cage. I realize now we share a truth that needs no voice, no whispered plea. He's anchored to that faded text, and I am anchored to the sight of he. We build our lives on tiny beams, on habits held against the fray. And the world outside can rush and roar, but here we choose to stay, finding gravity in the small things, the coffee's warmth, the soft refrain, the unspoken language of those who seek shelter from the pain. The light shifts higher on the wall, the cafe starts to fill and wake. He closes the book, a gentle sigh for the routine's sweet sake. He doesn't mark the place he stopped, he simply trusts he'll start again. He nods to me, a tiny dip of chin, a recognition soft, and then the meaning wasn't in the pages, but the shared restorative relief. And the bell chimes once more, quiet hour done, beyond belief. The day begins, the story won. The bell above the door gives a whispered chime, just past the 7 mark, escaping passing time. Smell of dark rose, sharp and sweet and true. Sunlight cutting dust motes, silver blue. The counter polished wood scarred by a decade's steam. A quiet waking world built around a simple dream. The floorboards creak beneath the weight of slow intended steps, as the city outside rushes and the silent cafe sleeps. I'm leaning by the window pane, watching traffic start to crawl, a rhythm slow and steady, ignoring winter's call. The waitress hums a melody only she can hear, wiping down the marble, chasing away the faint fear. The silence springs when you're standing at the edge of the day, waiting for a message that the world forgot today. I brought a weighty notebook, but I haven't much to say. Just the observation of the way the steam ascends before it breaks the ceiling and the quiet moment ends. I'm watching for a meaning in the way the shadows fall, a small profound instruction hidden in it all. Every grain of sugar, every splash of spilled cream, part of the magnificent, ordinary scheme. Oh, the quiet architecture of a Monday morning low, where the deepest truths are whispered, soft and slow. It's not the grand adventure or the roaring of the tide, it's the patience of the waiting, nowhere left to hide. Just the coffee and the calm, the fresh air on the sill, finding everything I needed, standing perfectly still, here in the space between the sip and the last drop. The world outside can worry, but my searching heart can't stop. I thought I came here seeking some great answer or a sign, a flash of inspiration, sharp and crystalline. But the moment that I stopped my endless hunting and my chase, I found the answer resting right here in this place. The world moves fast outside the glass, a frantic, hurried blur, but right here in the quiet, everything is sure. The simple weight of being, breathing in the scented air, a profound realization that I'm meant to be right there. This small cafe is gospel, teaching me to look and see that the deepest sense of purpose is just the art of being me. The second cup is empty, the first customers are gone, but the light still holds its promise, welcoming the new dawn. And the sunlight stretches longer, painting stripes across the floor, leaving just the echo of the closing of the door. The small, meaningful moment held tight within the frame, whispering its message, calling out my name. The bell above the glass door sighed, a gentle brassy chime. 6:45, the city slept, surrendered still to time. The grinder hummed a sleepy song, the steam wand hissed inside, and morning light like liquid gold poured in where shadows hide. I wiped the counter cool and worn, the scent of fresh brewed grace, preparing solace for the souls who sought this quiet place. Then came the man in charcoal gray, punctual as the tide, a man who carried silence well, with nothing left to hide. He took the corner table near the window, slightly worn, where patterned dust motes danced and spun, greeting the early morn. He ordered black just nodded to the staff, a monument to quiet thought beyond the modern chef. I often watched his steady hands turn pages thin and white, a ritual performed each day, bathed in the growing light. I wondered what held fast his gaze, the headlines grim and vast, or if he sought a memory rooted in the fading past. He wasn't waiting, wasn't rushing, just existing there, finding refuge from the rush and noise suspended in the air. My own life spins like loose change thrown across a marble floor, 1,000 calls and frantic plans, always demanding more. I chase the grand dramatic acts, the journey's far away, while meaning hides in simple truth that greets him every day. He pulls a small worn leather book from deep inside his coat and starts to write a careful line, a solitary note, perhaps a shopping list, perhaps a poem left unsaid, or maybe just the daily count of blessings in his head. He sips the bitter steaming cup, his eyes half closed in peace, a quiet dedication to a moment of release. And suddenly I understood the nature of the quest. The epic stories often fail, but routine stands the test. It's not the mountain that we climb, but the steady path we take, the small repeated commitments made for simple goodness sake. Oh, the language of the low light, the poetry of steam. A quiet life is not a lack, but a perfectly realized dream. In the coffee grounds and morning sound, a truth is gently spun. That meaning lives in small corners, found before the rising sun. We search for thunder in the sky, a lightning flash of grace, but find the anchor holding firm in this familiar place. Just the smell of brewing solace and the clock that moves so slow, the steady rhythm of the heart, the only tune we need to know. He folds the paper neat and square and tucks away his pen. He doesn't rush, he simply rises and then he turns again. He pauses by the countertop where sunlight makes things gleam and leaves a tip, a silver coin reflecting a deep clear stream. He meets my eye, a fleeting glance, devoid of expectation, a silent transfer of the peace born of quiet contemplation. And as the doors sigh shut behind him, leaving silence deep, I realize the promises that simple mornings keep. I stop my restless pacing then and breathe the coffee scent and understand the depth of time that quietly was spent. The cafe fills, the noise returns, the hurried world rushes in, but the quiet moment lingers still where true commitments begin. I pour my own cup, black and strong, just like the man defined, a gentle ritual of worth, a peace I thought I'd never find. The small bell chimes, the steam still rises, steady and refined. The finest art is simply being kind. The sun cut the dust motes above the warm mahogany bar. 7:32 and the air was thick with the ghost of yesterday's rain, and the sharp scent of Ethiopian roast. The bell above the door chimed a tired single note. Just me and the barista, polishing glasses that already shone.
This corner booth always mine, catching the first pale light. I watch the steam curl from my porcelain cup, a silent swirling promise of the day to come.
The only sound was the gentle hiss of the espresso machine, a mechanical breath in the quiet dawn.
She used to say that silence here tasted sweeter than the sugar cubes we never used. I noticed today they changed the shelf arrangement.
They moved the vintage tin of Earl Grey and placed the sugar packets where the newspapers used to lie. But there, tucked behind the old brass register, sat the chip blue mug, the one she always claimed held the perfect volume for a double shot. It's been 3 years since she packed her bags for the coast, chasing a lighthouse dream. Yet seeing that mug brought the sound of her laugh low and quick, right back to the edge of my hearing, a phantom echo in the quiet hum of the refrigerator unit, a small, perfectly preserved memory. I remember the morning we planned a lifetime over burnt toast and bitter tea. We argued about curtains and the names of future dogs, trivial architecture built on solid ground. Now I trace the grain of the wooden table where her initial is still faintly etched, a secret we kept from the staff, hidden beneath layers of lacquer and spilled milk. It's not the grand gestures that hold the weight, I realize, but the ritual of the ordinary. The way she stirred her cream counterclockwise, the way she'd always steal the last flaky croissant, leaving crumbs like breadcrumbs pointing back to yesterday. It was in the shared glance over the rim of a cooling mug, the acknowledgement that we were exactly where we were supposed to be. Oh, the ballad of the butter knife, the quiet cadence of the morning light. It's in the steam, it's in the slow familiar heat, where the meaningful moments meet. We don't remember the high tide or the storm, but the simple safety of a shared small haven keeping us warm. They are the grand love story written not in fire, but in coffee stains and dusty windowsills. These cafe chronicles, they linger still, anchors in the rushing stream of time.
I used to avoid this place, fearing the ghost of her presence would scald my throat like forgotten tea.
But the ghosts here are kind, they don't demand return, they simply offer perspective. She is gone, yes, but the pattern remains. The comfort wasn't tied to her hand specifically, but to the shape of the routine we crafted together. I found the strength to order 2 shots today, just like she always did, not out of desperate longing, but out of respect for the small, perfect architecture of our time. It's a quiet freedom, realizing that history doesn't weigh you down, it just teaches you how to stir your own coffee perfectly. The past is not a prison, it is merely the blueprint for the gratitude I feel for this single, perfect, quiet moment. The barista hands me the second cup, a sign offering. I watch the sun fully break through the glass, painting the floorboards gold. I take a sip, it tastes exactly like moving on. Bitter sweet, strong, and necessary. The chipped blue mug sits undisturbed on its shelf, a silent monument to a time well spent. I leave a generous tip, a thank you not just for the coffee, but for the quiet sanctuary and the enduring power of small habits. The bell chimes again as I step back onto the street. The morning fresh, the ballads sung, the small moments holding the world together, one cup at a time.
The glass is cool against my sleeve. The city's still asleep outside. A muted hum of morning peace, where shadows slowly learn to hide. The espresso machine hisses low, a gentle rhythm steady deep, and dust motes dance in amber rays. Secrets that the window keeps. The air is thick with roasted bean and lemon zest, a faint perfume. This sanctuary carved from dawn, dispelling all the waking gloom. I watch the steam curl from my cup, a fragile silver fading ghost, and recognize the small reprieve that matters to me now the most. Across the worn mahogany there rests a book, its spine is cracked, a well-loved copy marked with time, a history I cannot track. Someone was here just minutes past, who left their bookmark half unfurled, a faded ticket stub from trains that rush across the wider world. I wonder where they rushed off to, if they found what they hoped to seek, or if they also found their peace in moments beautifully meek. The barista wipes the counter clean, a gesture practiced slow and sure. 1,000 mornings live like this, a comfort that will long endure. I came here searching for a sign, a grand pronouncement loud and clear, to tell me where the path begins and banish every rising fear. But wisdom doesn't wear a crown, it hides inside the empty chair. The whisper of the turning page, the silence hanging in the air. I watch a woman paint a sketch of cobblestones and flowering vines. She doesn't seek perfection here, just letting simple beauty shine. And in the quiet click of pen, I hear the answer to my plight. The meaning isn't in the end, but in the slow unfolding light. Oh, the alchemy of morning fresh, where tiny things become so vast. The gentle rhythm of the breath, the shadow of a life that's passed. Here in the quiet, warm cafe, the world outside begins to fade, and every hurried debt I owe is suddenly and softly paid. It's the stillness that unlocks the truth, the subtle shift in light and sound, the sweetest truth of early youth, discovered on this hallowed ground. The coffee's cool, the flavor deep, a lingering hint of smoke and earth. I trace the ring the cup has made, acknowledging its quiet worth. I pull my own small notebook out, the paper rough beneath my hand, and write down just the simple thought: to truly see is to understand. Not bold announcements, not great wars, just the texture of the wooden grain, the way the rain began to fall, then stopped and started up again. I used to think that life began when I achieved some distant goal, but life is in the current sip, the quiet mending of the soul. The cello starts a mournful drone, a melody both clear and deep. It speaks of loves that we have known and promises we couldn't keep. But there is no regret tonight, just quiet acceptance, soft and slow, that every choice, both wrong and right, led me to where I am right now. The grand ambition can't wait for noon, or maybe for the coming year, but this small, perfect afternoon is all the future I need here. I choose the comfort of the now, the gentle comfort of the pause, to simply breathe and somehow bow to universal quiet laws. Oh, the alchemy of morning fresh, where tiny things become so vast. The gentle rhythm of the breath, the shadow of a life that's past. Here in the quiet, worn cafe, the world outside begins to fade, and every hurried debt I owe is suddenly and softly paid. It's the stillness that unlocks the truth, the subtle shift in light and sound, the sweetest truth of early youth, discovered on this hallowed ground. I stand and smooth the linen fold, returning the small chair to place. The story's not yet to be told, but etched upon this quiet space. I leave the cafe lighter now, the noise of traffic starts to rise, but carry with me the soft vow reflected in the morning skies. The scent of coffee clings to me, a lingering warm and gentle grace, a hidden quiet clarity found only in this sacred place.
The brass bell above the door gave a gentle, tired sigh as the morning fog surrendered to the weak, pale blue sky. A single measured drip of espresso, hidden porcelain white, was the loudest sound in this pale, electric pre-dawn light. I sat by the window pane, tracing random patterns in the condensation, watching the world outside rush toward its frantic, loud destination. But here, within the amber glow and a comforting scent of burned vanilla, time slowed its frantic heart, becoming quieter, chiller, stiller. The hiss of the milk steamer, a momentary interruption, brief and low, then silence returned, a blanket woven from the things we forget to know. I nursed a lukewarm cup, the sugar melting slow in the bitter brew. My mind was filled with deadlines and the countless places I must race to. But then I saw the woman by the counter, hair tied back in a gray and braid. She wasn't scrolling screens, she was watching shadows lengthen and then fade. She held a heavy leather-bound book, its cover worn and deep, the kind of stillness modern life just struggles hard to notice or to keep. She turned a page with slow, deliberate care, a gesture of profound respect. And in a quiet focus, I saw a dignity time could never truly check. It was a meaning not found in movement, but in holding sacred ground, in the simple act of sitting still while the world spun all around. I realized my search for meaning had always been too grand, too loud too far, when it was simply waiting here beside the chipped ceramic jar. Oh, the grace of the overlooked, the quiet majesty of the small. It's in the rising steam of coffee answering the distant morning call. It's the gentle rhythm of the spoon against the ceramic edge, a soft metallic sound, finding heaven on this ordinary window-seated ledge where peace is found. We search for mountains to climb, for oceans vast and wide, for futures yet unseen. But the deepest peace is often where the small ignored details abide, simple and clean. The meaningful moment tucked between the rush, in the dread that fills the head, found not in the noise, but in the silence, not in the words that are left unsaid. I watch the city sidewalk outside become a blur of hurried, anxious feet. Each commuter chasing futures, bitter, rushed, and tragically sweet. They miss the way the sunlight caught the swirling dust motes in the air. They miss the quiet solace of a moment, stripped of urgency and care. They carried burdens heavy, the pressure of the clock, the weight of expectation, too busy building castles of tomorrow to pause and notice this simple station. I thought of my own hurried years, the goals I chased in vain across the map. The peace I sought in distance found instead in the quiet comfort of this lap. Outside the cafe window where the world spun fast and cruel and cold, but inside just the ticking clock breaking every modern rule that we are sold. I watched a small child drop a crayon, and the mother didn't scream or fuss. She simply knelt, retrieving in an act of gentle, quiet surplus. The barista wiped the counter clean, a sound of gentle rhythmic cleansing sweep. And I realized the promises that hurried, endless living failed to keep. We trade the textured beauty of the morning for the empty promise of the night. We sacrifice the tangible present for a future always shining just too bright. But the future always melts away like ice against a fevered tongue. And the only truth that holds is the quiet, simple song that is being sung right now in this warm, unnoticed corner, where the shadows softly creep and crawl, and the world outside forgets the secrets that it ought to recall. Standing tall, standing tall. I put my phone away, screen down, deciding I would simply breathe and feel, letting the weight of the morning's truth become intensely real. Closed her heavy book, gave a small, contented, silent nod, a quiet blessing whisper, perhaps to self, perhaps to the wisdom of God. She gathered up her worn scarf, moved slowly toward the closing door, and left behind a depth of stillness deeper than before. The brass bell chimed once again, a final clear echoing refrain, and the cafe held its breath, ready for the cycle of sun and pouring rain. But I won't forget the lesson etched upon the rim of this simple cup, that the greatest story told is the moment when you finally wake up. The small quiet hum remains, a blessing and a guide. The small quiet hum remains,